Welcome back to Movies Are So Back, the YouTube movie review channel where I, Ethan Simmie, ask the question, are movies so back? But we're not talking about movies today. We're talking about Severance. After 3 long, grueling, what felt like severed years, to be honest, the second season of Severance is finally here. We're finally going to answer the questions. What happens to Helly on that stage? What happens to Dylan in the security office? What happens to Mark at the party? What happens to Irv banging on Bert's door? All of those questions will hopefully be answered in season 2 of Severance. Now, this review kicks off my journey into covering Severance every single week for the next 10 weeks. There's 10 episodes, so we're going to do it every single week. I'm going to review every new episode of Severance and give my thoughts on the episode and the season as a whole as we go on and learn more about these characters and this world, and specifically Lumen and what they do. And I'm really excited to embark on this journey with you. So if you want to join me on this journey, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single review whenever I come out with those. Let's review episode 1 of season 2 of Severance. So I want to preface this very quickly by saying I stood up for the entirety of this episode. That's how excited I was. I just rewatched all of season 1 over the last week, came out with a video on my thoughts on season 1 as a whole, and I've been waiting just diligently for season 2 to premiere, to commence. I did watch season 1 of Severance all the way back when it came out 3 years ago. So I am an OG. Don't think that I just pounded Severance season 1 in the last 5 days and called myself a true Lumen head, because I have been here since day 1 and I couldn't be more excited for season 2 of Severance. Hence why I stood the entire time that I was watching this episode, and I jotted down a ton of notes and a ton of bullet points, and we're gonna just go through those. I'm gonna move through them like pretty fast, and then I want to do something fun at the end of this video. I'm gonna try and do it every single week when I review an episode that I think could be really fun as we get into deeper, darker, more interesting episodes. Okay, let's start at the beginning of the episode. Loved the camera movements. I thought it was a little video game-ish. I will say that's like my one critique, but I think as a reintroductory phase into Severance, into Lumen, into Mark, and kind of where we're at after season 1, I thought it was really, really cool. The technical aspect of Mark running down the hallway, which I just thought was like a great familiar reintroduction to where we are on the severed floor, and all of the really like just quick, snappy movements. Tons of really smooth, cool camera stuff. Again, a little video gamey, but I dug it. I thought it was a cool like jolt of energy to reintroduce us to Severance. We were introduced to new people during this episode, 3 new people specifically when Mark rejoins and re-enters the MDR section. I have a lot of questions about these. I have a feeling we're going to see more of them and get a lot of these questions introduced. Some things that I noted about these people. First and foremost, the guy who plays Mark W is played by this guy whose name is Bob Balaban. And for any of those Seinfeld addicts out there like myself, you might know him as Russell Dalrymple from Seinfeld. That was like the first thing that I noticed. I paused and I prodded my wife as she was watching her show on the iPad so as to not have to be engaged with my lunacy behavior standing up watching Severance. And I was like, that's Dalrymple from Seinfeld. And she was impressed that I know that. So, I just want to put that out in the world. Seinfeld knowledge, it's worth something. But these new people mention that they worked in Branch 5X and they used to work with another MDR team. Really interesting stuff. Lumen is big, and we just don't really know what that encompasses yet. I don't want to spend too much time on these people. Again, like they come and go really quickly, which I thought was a little strange, but I want to take this season in stride, and I don't want to assume any poor narrative choices right out of the gate. I can guarantee this is not the last we've seen of these new people. Along with getting new people, we learned that Miss Cobell is gone, and Mr. Milkshake, or Mr. Milkshake as they call him, which I loved. I thought that was hilarious. Is now in charge, and he is obsessed with the fact that his computer does not say Mr. Milkshake. I'm really excited to see where his dynamic, especially with Dylan and Mark, goes this season. I think Mr. Milkshake will be a really interesting character to narratively dive into and see what their deal is. He is explicitly not severed. He mentions that he is going to have to live with the fact that he locked Mark in a room like an animal for the rest of his life. And I think his perspective on whatever is going to transpire in the next 9 episodes is going to be very fascinating because he is not severed, and I think he will have a completely different reaction to a lot of these things. Where is Miss Cobell? I don't know. Who's to say? I mean, she's not gone. I can tell you that. She's coming back. I just wonder in what capacity. I wonder if she will try to like break Lumen down from the outside while Mark and Helly and everybody's doing it from the inside. I don't know. I don't know. Mr. Milkshake did say that she had an erotic fixation on Mark. Will that come back up? I don't know. Miss Cobell, still don't like her. Very strange. We get a new painting in this episode that is called Kier Pardons His Betrayers. And it's basically a picture of Kier kneeled down with the heads of Mark and Dylan and Irv and Helly on the ground. And he is getting ready to basically pardon them knighting them. Really interesting that mural pops up. And as we learn, basically it's been 5 months since everything went down. Their Audis are now famous. I have a lot of questions about like the logistics and technical side of things. Maybe I'm just like not connecting the right kind of dots. But like I'm just curious like how any of that works. So if you have thoughts on like how this 5-month jump technically works, or if you can explain it to make it really simple for dumb old Ethan, I would appreciate it if you could just like leave a comment and let me know. I find it a little strange that we're like, whoa, 5 months have gone by now. And that has all happened. We learn new things about Lumen in this episode. I think this is some of the most important aspects of the episode. We learn that Lumen is operating in 206 countries. Now, this video that they show to the classic MDR team here, who's to say what's real in this video? Obviously, I think the one really cool aspect of Severance as a whole is that you kind of have to take every narrative nugget with a grain of salt. We don't know if Lumen is telling the truth or not. We don't know who is deciding to tell the truth or not. Just like Mark is the only person that decides to tell the truth about what he saw as an Audi. Helly does not tell the truth. Irv does not really say anything. And I find that really interesting. So we're starting to like basically break down these relationships from episode 1, and everybody's going to have their own individual kind of reasons for what they're doing going forward. And I think that's interesting. Again, the video, 206 countries. Lumen has basically notarized this event as the Macro Dat Uprising. And they're claiming it as a good thing. Now, of course, this kind of goes hand in hand and mirrors what happened last season with them, and the mural of the uprising and the overtaking of O&D and MDR and that whole event transpiring, except this time Lumen gets behind it. And I think this is the case where Lumen thinks they can control the narrative if they just do this instead of having it be kind of mythologized within MDR and other places. I believe that was Keanu Reeves' voice for the MDR video. If I'm wrong, please correct me. If I'm right, please tell me I'm right. Because I was really racking my brain the whole time, and I think that was Keanu Reeves' voice. He's not credited in the end, but I'm nearly positive. A couple more things broadly about the episode that I find really interesting. Like I said, Helly, she lies. She fucking lies about what she saw on the outside. It wasn't on my bingo card for her to lie like that. And I guess like good job, Ben Stiller and team. Like you got me, because I didn't think that she was going to do that. I thought that we were all on a squad together. And I think that is what made the back few episodes of season 1 so entertaining, is like, cool, we're a unit, we're a team now, and we want to do this together. These people are given the option. If you want to stay at Lumen and stay severed, you can. If you want to go, you can go. If they stay, of course, they can work from the inside and try to figure out what's going on with Lumen. Everybody decides to stay, which was a really great way to end the episode, by the way. But I'm jumping ahead, of course. Helly lies. And when this happened, I was like, yo, she can go to hell. Like, she can just get out of here. She's like, I was in an old dingy apartment watching a nature doc wearing a Save the Gorillas t-shirt. And Dylan questions her like a million times. I'm pretty sure Dylan knows that she's lying as well. Irv doesn't outright come out with what he saw on the outside either. This will be interesting to me. I think there is a ripe opportunity to go really sideways narratively and to splinter everything too much too soon, with everybody having their own kind of ulterior motive for what they're doing and how their stories go. But I have faith in the team. They did it in season 1. We've waited a long time for season 2. I think they are going to get this right. I'm really excited to see where this goes. What is Helly's game here? What is her play? I don't know. Like I said in my review of season 1, I'm terrible at predicting things, so I just don't know. What do you think? I genuinely have zero clue what her game is here. And then the final thing that I wanted to mention that I find really interesting about this episode is that Mr. Milchek informs Dylan, and Dylan only, about something called the Audi Family Visitation Suite. Now that's interesting. Of course, he's trying to use what he's always used on Dylan to bring him back. And, Dylan is the incentives guy. So, of course, he's going to try to pull at Dylan through incentives to get him to stay and live under his rule, I guess. But Mr. Milchek mentions something. Dylan asks, is this where I will get to see my Audi family? And Mr. Milchek says, if you take the title at face value, it seems like that would be the case. What does that mean, guys? This is not going to go well. This is just not going to go well. There's no way that is actually a Audi Family Visitation Suite. What does that mean to accept that title on face value? There's way more going on there. And what the hell was that final flash of Miss Casey at the very end? What was that? I paused it and I tried to go really slow and pause it all the time to see what I could see in the frame. And basically, it was a picture of Miss Casey, but as Mark's wife, it appears, she did not look like Miss Casey. And she was kind of over the Cold Harbor file that Mark was working on. We see data for heart rate, temperature, oxygen levels. She is alive. She is alive. Are they keeping her somewhere? Is Miss Casey a clone of her? What are our predictions here? What are our thoughts? Drop a comment and let me know, because there's no way that Miss Casey is, in fact, Audi Mark's wife. They have to be two completely separate people, which if that were the case, then this show just blows wide open into us just absolutely not understanding anything at all, which both excites me and makes me nervous. But hey, anything's possible. It's Severance. Cool thing that I want to do every single episode that I review. Who won the episode? Who lost the episode? I am going to say that Dylan won the episode and Irving came in a very close second place. My favorite sequence of this episode was when Dylan and Irv were in the hallway and Dylan was trying to stop Irving from going out of the hallway, and they had their moment, their kind of bonding, emotional connection, and they're talking about Irv and Bert and all of the things about why they actually want to be there. And I found Irving's narrative so interesting because he says, I just want the pain to stop. Life was easier before I started to try to be happy. And that's the core of what we're doing here at Severance, is investigating what is the breaking point in people and their pain. What is their pain threshold and when do they want to get severed? And for Irv, it seems like a very rash and quick decision. So I wonder if that happened originally as well. Who lost the episode? I think you can guess who lost the episode in my books. Freaking Helly. I'm so out on Helly, man. I can't. Get her out of here. I'm not interested in whatever dumb game she's playing by lying to people about what she saw on the outside. And I'm not interested in toying around my boy Mark with this Pam Jim shit of will they, won't they, love, hug. I'm jealous that you have a wife, but she's actually not really your wife because nobody is, best friends with their Audi and any of that. I don't want it. I don't want it. Get out of here, Helly. Predictions for next episode? I've got none. I gotta be frank with you guys. I gotta be honest. I finished the episode and I jumped in here to record this video because I was so excited to talk about Severance. I didn't really put a lot of thought into what might happen in the next episode. I have a good hunch that Helly just gets a little bit more insufferable for me, and she follows whatever she wants to do with lying to people, and I get more mad. And that's that. Will the new people show up in the next episode? Could be. I don't know. What do you think is going to happen in the next episode of Severance, episode 2 of season 2? Drop a comment below and let me know. So instead of asking, are movies so back? I'm going to ask, is TV so back? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We've never been so back. Severance is back. And, I am really, really excited about the fact that Severance is going to be releasing weekly. every Thursday night, every Friday, we're going to get a new episode of Severance for the next 10 weeks. Like, that is Succession Sundays level. Well, it's there, but it's close. It's close. And in theory, it's the same idea and the same excitement. And I'm really thrilled to go on this weekly journey with you of Severance. And I think that is going to be a fun thing. So yes, TV is back. Remember to like this video and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a single Severance review of mine. You can also find all of my movie opinions and thoughts on Letterboxd, and I'll see you in the next video.